Welcome back to Third Eye View. We're here with our guest, Tamara, the corrective massage therapist, and she's doing a session with our co-host, Debra-Claire. Tamara, describe a little bit about what it is that you're doing with Debra-Claire.
Okay, so to start, because I know Deb, and she has numerous times has said that her upper back and her neck are tight, and she has lots of tension.
With her, I typically use the word issues.
Issues. Her tissues have issues. I know immediately. I know that if I don't correct the neck, normally what I would do is correct the neck and correct the pelvis. They call it top and tail.
So they're kind of tied together.
They're very much tied together.
I never knew that. Who would have thought?
As well as there's different ones that have come in with migraines, and it's because their foot strike is wrong. So if you correct the foot strike, correct it and level the pelvis, level the head, it usually has a great help to great
connection to where they're feeling the pain. And when you're in the middle of this process, do you ever have an inkling, like you're going through the rhythms and the motions? I'm sure there's some sort of routine where you're just drawn somewhere. You're just drawn to go to a different part of the body or a certain area where you're massaging.
Yeah. As I'm touching on one right now, Deb's like, oh.
I'm trying to just relax.
So again, this isn't a hot stone relaxing massage. This is corrective massage.
This is corrective massage.
Oh, she hit it.
And how did you know to go there? What drew you to that area?
I'm going to say at this point in time, it's the knowledge that I have been trained, like my training. Just because I can see in her how things are.
Sound effects.
Sound effects.
These are real sound effects.
These are real sound effects. And the whole idea really with massage is you want to be as conservative as possible, but aggressive as necessary is what actually one of my teachers taught me. You don't want to, I know we're not the doctors and we don't take the Hippocratic Oath, but the whole do no harm thing I think is really, really important. And that came from another teacher of mine. Let's not try to make it hurt. Scar tissue when you hit it hurts.
I can imagine it being quite painful.
It's kind of sucky, and there's not really a whole lot we can do about that other than correct it and get through it. But you don't have to have somebody that's digging their elbow in, or like my touch on her is very light. Now she probably thinks that I'm trying to stick my finger through her neck.
I'm calling all my guardian angels to say,
but it really is a light touch. You don't have to, and this is something that I was taught by the one gentleman that, like I said, corrected me all those years ago, which I've never had that pain come back.
Wow. So it might be something where in the immediate moment when you're touching them, they feel this sense of pain per se. But as they're leaving that process, it alleviates that long-term pain that they've been living with.
The scarring. So when we're looking at muscle lays all one way. The fibers in the muscle lay all one way, like lines on paper. So when the muscle gets hurt, either through repetitive, through an injury, through motor vehicle, whatever, it doesn't really matter how it gets hurt, it gets hurt. The body will go, there's a tear in that muscle. And when we say tear, we're not talking big, huge thing. We're talking little thing.
Yeah.
And the body goes, I have to repair it. So it will throw fiber, collagen fiber towards it, which is what our muscles are made up of. But instead of laying it down in the direction that the rest of the fiber inside that muscle lays, kind of looks like somebody threw matchsticks on it. When it solidifies, it has fixed the tear, but now that's scarring. So it's your trigger point, your knot, whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. It's a scar inside the muscle. So,
and I guess touching that is where we're feeling some of these sound effects.
And it doesn't matter how light you touch it. It hurts because it's dysfunctional and it's very specific and it's very pinpoint, like somebody's sticking a needle in you. It's very uncomfortable. So our job is to try to do some multi-directional frictioning to soften it up. And then we do an eccentric contraction back to neutral to realign the fiber. And that actually, the eccentric contraction part of it realigns the scarring.
Kind of remove some of that match sticking you were talking about.
Yeah, so it realigns it in the way that the rest of the muscle lays. The scar is still there, but now it's functional as opposed to a dysfunctional clump and brings pain to the rest of the muscle.
And do you find sometimes, because you have that bit of intuitive side, or at least it's in your awareness, that you go through this process or the healing process a little bit faster or a little bit differently? How does it give you that edge?
I really don't know if it's an edge per se. But
oh, you could toot your own horn, because I know I can just speak to personal experience. Like, you've come into our Zen den before, and you've actually just been drawn to an area. I didn't say a word to you, and you just knew that's where you had to go. So
and that's that intuitive part. It really is, and I think a lot of the really good therapists, that's what they have. They have that intuitive. I know there's something, but I'm really drawn here. And with you, it was your wrist. I could see there were other things going on, but for some reason, it was your wrist that really drew me to it. So that's what I did that little bit of a work on.
So I have to ask, how are you doing, Mom?
I'm praying.
This is the most still I've seen her lie or sit in a long time. So even just this relaxing process, I know we said it's corrective, but I think a lot of people just taking this time for that self-care is hugely important.
This is massively important for people. These things don't correct themselves. They compensate. And that's what people will come in and go, I woke up and I'm 40 now and I feel like I've been hit by a bus.
by a bus or a truck.
And it's
absolutely.
Because they haven't been kind to their body. The body will heal itself, but it creates a scar in the muscle. So that means it shortens that muscle. And the rest of the muscle has to compensate for that shortness.
And I love that technique that you showed.
Yeah, so now it will pull in different places, and usually by the time people come into me, it isn't
a little bit of this.
One scar in the muscle, it's multiple. And they layer themselves. And you can't release everything at first, or it just doesn't work.
So it's not an immediate process or a one size fits all.
I would love to whomp everybody with a magic wand, wha-cha, over the head and make it happen in one session, but it doesn't work. I could charge a lot more if I could do that.
And I have to say, Tamara, your hands go from hot to cold in different spots.
Yeah.
So I feel that the healing, the energy changes as you're working.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I'm sorry, Debra-Claire,
we'll continue on.
But we do have to go. But if you have further questions at home, feel free to comment on this video or send us an email. Or, of course, you can visit Tamara at the Green Owl. Be sure to subscribe to our Third Eye View YouTube channel and check us out on Facebook. And as always, you can connect with us through Kawartha Mediums as well.